but we want to introduce you to the wealth of, experience and noble living legends in India itself. And that is how, when I was researching, I came across Dr. Prabhakar Rao. I went through his profile and the details that were available on web, and his various, videos, including TEDx talks and all. And I was amazed. And at the same time, I was very sad to know that we have almost lost 99% of our native seeds, which we do not even know about. We probably we do not even care about. This is a very serious subject, my dear participants. We owe our children's or the next generations that are coming, this heritage to be preserved. And I feel that there are very few people like Dr. Prabhakar Rao who are silently, and not even people knowing what kind of fight they are fighting for us. I can compare them like our soldiers are on the borders. There are equally, brave soldiers like Dr. Prabhakar Rao who are fighting a different battle altogether. As I said, I do not have words actually for the kind of person he is and the kind of initiative that he is working upon. And I would now request Dr. Prabhakar Rao to please, take up the dais and please let us know what I could not tell the participants in the best words possible. Listening from Dr. Prabhakar Rao would be the best thing today. On to you, Dr. Prabhakar Rao. I welcome you. Please bless us with your experience and knowledge and your thoughts.
Thank you very much, Paremvir. Also, Kamal ma'am, for introducing me and giving me this opportunity. And Arjun, who is handling the technical backbone of this meeting. And to all you students who are there, all you youngsters, you are my hope actually. If I have to succeed in what I am doing, then I need your help to do this. Yeah. So what is it that I do? Instead of talking, I thought that, I will just show you a video which will tell you much better what I do. It's a very short video. It's just about 3 minutes, but it'll tell you about what I do and why I am doing so many things. Yeah. So let me just try and play this video for you. Just give me a thumbs up if you can see this on the screen. Can you see the video on the screen now?
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, so just stop me if you can't hear the audio or anything, but I will just, it's a 3-minute video. It was done by the CNN Great Big Story series, and it gives you a rough idea of what I do and why I do it. So basically what I am trying to do is, we are losing all our desi varieties of vegetables. Like I said, 99% of the vegetables, desi vegetables, already gone. Just about, say, 70, 80 years ago, you would go to the market, there'll be something like 400 types of tomatoes, 400 types of cabbages. Yeah. Today we have maybe 2 or 3 varieties there. You have that big round one, you have a cherry tomato, and maybe another one. And that's it. We've got nothing else. Because all the vegetables which are sold in the market today, all the vegetable seeds that are sold in the market today, they are hybrids. And hybrids means that you have to buy seed every time from the company. So for 10,000 years, farmers like me, we saved our own seeds. We were seed keepers. Yeah. Are saving seed because every time you go and buy new seed. Yeah. As a result, all those beautiful, beautiful, beautiful varieties of vegetables which existed on our planet, they are gone. And what is the sad part is nobody knows this is happening. Because when you go to the market, you will find vegetables, right? So if you're finding vegetables, you think there is nothing wrong with vegetables. Vegetables are okay. But what is happening and what you see as reality, completely different picture. So it's very important that youngsters like you understand what is happening with the vegetables, why it is important for us to save these desi varieties. So I'll just share another quick PowerPoint with you so that I can tell you why we need to share these particular varieties. So like I said, we had so many, just about nearly 100 years ago, just imagine 285 varieties of cucumbers. You've got 307 varieties of corn, 463 varieties of radishes, 41 varieties of pumpkins, 288 varieties of beets, and so on. I mean, it's just amazing how many beautiful vegetables were there. I have tested today nearly 600 varieties of vegetables which I managed to save from extinction. And I want to promote this fact that nature created these varieties for all of humanity, for all of mankind. Everybody should be an owner of this particular biodiversity. Seeds belong to all of mankind. They should not be like today, the hybrid seeds, they are owned by companies. And nobody else can, multiply them. Nobody else can save them. You can't save seed from seed. You have to buy it every time from them. I'll show you a small video of why that is so. But so because of the nature of my work, I'm a landscape architect by profession. So it allowed me to travel to very remote parts of the world. I stayed outside India for a very, very long time. And I used to visit farmers in remote parts of the world. And everywhere I go, I used to ask them, do they have any of the old varieties of seeds? And sometimes they would share their precious seeds with me. And that's how I became a seed keeper. Today, if you see at Hariyalee Seeds, which is my farm, just look at the kind of beans. You've got purple bean here, you've got white beans here, you've got pink beans here, you've got yellow beans here. All these are just beans. And each of them have a different taste. They have a different flavor. They can be eaten raw in salads. They're just the most beautiful things. But in the market, you will never find these because nobody has the seeds for these. So my ambition and my purpose in life is to try and multiply these seeds, give it to youngsters like you so that you can grow them, you can enjoy these delicious and beautiful vegetables, and you too can become a seed keeper. Just look at these tomatoes. Now this tomato here on the right looks like a grape, isn't it? But it's a tomato. This looks like a small little bulb, orange bulb. Look at these yellow cherry tomatoes. These are the white sausage tomatoes. These are the Michel Pollan green tomatoes. Each tomato has got a different texture. It's got a different taste. It's got a different use. Some are for making juices. Some are for making squashes. Some are for making ketchups. Some are used in cooking. Some are used just to eat them raw in salads. Such beautiful varieties just almost gone out of this planet in just the past 60, 70 years. It's such a tragedy that something like this has been allowed to happen. Just look at these bhindis, Look, you have got this white bhindi. You've got this bhindi, which is called the Star of David, because if you cut it, it looks like the Jewish six-pointed star. This is what I call the painted lady, because it's like somebody painted this with pink and yellow. And you've got this beautiful purple bhindi with just the green tip on it. You've got this bhindi, which doesn't have any thorns on it. It's a spineless bhindi. Again, such beautiful, beautiful vegetables, which today, even if you, for the love of money, you just can't get it in the market, and it's such a shame. Just look at the kind of pumpkins. Do you know, in my farm, I have more than about 12, 13 varieties of just tulsis and basils. You know, we have all kinds. I have basils which have got cinnamon taste, that is dalchini flavored. I've got basil which has got a lemon flavor. I've got a basil which has got a licorice flavor. I've got a basil which has got the kapoor flavor. It's called the kapoor tulsi. It's a very original tulsi, not the fake one that you see in the market. You can see this beautiful pumpkin that's called the speckled swan. It looks like a swan and it's got speckles on it. This is a courgette, which today you get only hybrid courgettes, but this is the original desi. These are all desi lettuces. You know, so lettuces and mustard. This is a beautiful mustard which can be eaten as a salad. This is a lettuce, that is a desi lettuce. Wonderful, wonderful things to have. So when you look at all this and see what it is that today in the market we are getting, you know, it's next to nothing. It's such a shame, you know. And then we will try to understand now, why is it that you cannot make seed from a hybrid seed or a GMO seed? Yeah. If I buy a hybrid tomato or a GMO tomato from the market, if you see the tomato, there are seeds inside it, correct? There are seeds. So you may ask me, if I plant the seed, a tomato plant will come. Then why you are saying that I cannot make seeds from tomato, hybrid tomatoes? The point is, if you sow that tomato seeds, the hybrid tomato from the market, if you buy, and if you sow the seed in a pot, you sow 10 seeds, you will get 10 different kind of plants. And none of them will be like the tomato that you took the seed out of. That is why for a farmer, it is of no use, because each plant will be different and each plant may have a good fruit. It may be very diseased. It may be very weak, anything. So for a farmer, those seeds are absolutely useless. So nobody can use those hybrid seeds, which you get from the vegetable. So every time you want to grow a tomato or a bhindi or a brinjal, you have to go to the seed company or a seed supplier and you have to buy fresh seed, because that's their business model. If they don't have the farmer coming back every time to buy the seed, they don't have a business, right? So, and in GMO seeds, it's even more dangerous because they have put in a gene inside the vegetable that is called a terminator gene. A terminator gene means the seeds from that vegetable will not even sprout. It will not even germinate. So there is no use at all of those seeds. So you have to buy seed, grow only one crop, and after that there is nothing. Yeah. So let us try to understand, what are these native seeds, heirloom seeds, desi seeds. Desi seed means if you take from Hariyalee one packet of tomato seeds, and let's suppose I give you the blackberry tomato. Every seed will produce a plant which will grow blackberry, and from that you can make your own seed. You know, you don't have to buy from me again. Only one time you take it, then you can make seed, you can sell the seed. You can make money. In fact, I have a small exercise which we will all try to do, and I'll try to show you how much money you can make just by having 2 or 3 pots in your balcony. Just by having 2 or 3 pots in a balcony, how much money you can make in a year by growing these desi seeds and selling them. You can make a lot of money, and I'm sure a lot of will be interested. It's pocket money, you know, good pocket money, and everybody will be very proud of you the way you make this money. Your parents will be proud, your relatives will be proud, your teachers will be proud, your friends, of course, will think that you're a champion for doing something like this. So it's a great business idea that I'm going to teach you a little later on in this presentation. But now we will understand why it is that desi seeds, anybody can make seeds out of seeds. But when you have hybrids or GMOs, you have to buy seeds again and again. So a small video I will show you. That's again, just I think a few minutes. And that will sort of tell you what this whole thing is about. So the critical point there was every time you sow a open pollinated variety, that's a desi variety or a heirloom, you will get the same plant. You will not get 10 different kind of plants or 100 different kind of plants. You will get the same plant like the mother plant. So that was the point which I said, the offspring from the seeds of a hybrid vegetable will be wildly different. That means it's not worth for a farmer to grow them. Yeah. So that is the point that you should take home here. So that is basically what it tells you about hybrid and GMO. So in a hybrid, I can take a gene from a scorpion or a fish and put it into a tomato. I can take the gene from a human being, put it into a cow. You know, I can do anything, but there is a lot of, concern about whether playing God like this is a good thing for humanity or not. Yeah. So forget that part of it. I am more concerned about our desi seeds, And our desi seeds, first of all, it is nature's gift to us. Saving one variety of vegetable that's going extinct is as important as saving a whale or a bird or a tree species. It's as important as that, because climate change is today a fact. It's no more fiction. We know climate change is real. Now, if we have to combat climate change, we need biodiversity. That means we need genes that are capable of giving different attributes or traits or strengths to a plant. Something that will take cold, something that will take heat, something that will take too much water, something that will take too little water, drought. You need that genetic biodiversity. If all that genetic biodiversity disappears because you're only promoting hybrids and GMOs, then a time will come when those genes will not be there. Those genes came into existence in this planet after millions of years of nature working on it. After millions of years of nature working, it gave us that biodiversity. And within 100 years, we are saying bye-bye to that. You know, so it's a very, very frightening thing. Yeah. Second thing is that biodiversity must be preserved because it is a part of who we are. You know, if you come from Maharashtra, for example, yeah, there used to be about 40, 50 years ago, just on the outskirts of Pune, if you are driving in, you will find something called a Puna Kakdi. Very famous vegetable called a Puna Kakdi. Today, you don't find Puna Kakdi anywhere at all. Like that in Karnataka, we used to have the Mangalore Sautekai. Yeah, it's a dish. I mean, dishes were made out of these particular varieties. Today, those dishes itself are not there. Like in Karnataka, there was a dish called a Vangi Bhat made with a very special brinjal. Yeah. Today, that brinjal itself is not there. So that dish is also gone. Yeah. Like in Bangladesh, there used to be this very beautiful brinjal, which was called the Bangladeshi brinjal. Yeah. And 40, 50 years ago, it's a very different looking. It was there in the video that I showed you. It's a very different looking brinjal, but the texture is exactly like meat. So if you cut the brinjal and cook it in a biryani, it will taste like meat. Yeah. So the poor people who didn't have enough money to buy a lot of meat, they will put some meat and then they will put a lot of this brinjal pieces in that. So that somebody, their guests, will think that, you know, there's a lot of meat in that biryani. Okay. You know that brinjal disappeared completely till I had visited an old farmer in the Purulia district in West Bengal, which is the border district between Bangladesh and India. And I was chatting with him and talking to him about this brinjal. And then he went inside and gave me a small dried up piece with few seeds in it. From those seeds, today I have revived that brinjal. Otherwise, that brinjal would have been gone for good. Yeah. So we cannot lose these vegetables because they are a part of who we are. And just because some company is interested in making money, selling hybrids and GMOs, it does not mean we should lose what Mother Nature has given us. So from the point of view of who we are, our culture, our heritage, and also from the point of view of fighting climate change, we need to preserve these varieties. Yeah. So I told you I will teach you a trick of how to make good money, right? Let me try and see if those slides are there as well. And I will try to, yeah. Okay. I want you to look at this particular slide and maybe if you have a small calculator, yeah. And I want you to put your answers on the chat, yeah. If you all can very quickly Google to find out how many seeds are there in a tomato. Yeah, you can keep posting your answers on a chat. Yeah, on the chat, just Google quickly and find out how many seeds are there in a given tomato. Just an average, you know, we just need a number, maybe 100, 200, 500. Just put something there. Okay. So let us suppose that here you put 100 seeds. Okay. Okay. Now, if you take that, there will be 10 numbers. Okay. We've got somebody on the chat here who has put something. 300 seeds. Excellent. This is Harasi's core. Yeah. She says 300 and I think that's a great figure. So let's put 300 here. And number of tomatoes is 10. Therefore, how many are you getting total number of seeds? If you get 10x, that means 10 into 300, that gives you 3,000 seeds. Yeah. So we've got 300, we've got 150 to 300, you got 50 to 950. Yes. So let's take 300. Okay. So 300 into 10 becomes 3,000. Okay. Now I want you to Google how much is the cost of 10 heirloom seeds. Yeah. You could even go to HariyaaleeSeeds.com and you can find out cost of 10 heirloom seeds. These are seeds you only buy one time, because after that you make your own seeds and you can make your own money out of it, right? So, oh yes, even 1,000 seeds, yes. Okay. So cost of 10 heirloom seeds, okay. If you go there to Hariyalee, it will say 60 rupees. Yeah, 60. If you go to the dollars, it's very expensive. But let's say 60 rupees per 10 seeds. That means 6 rupees, right? So from one tomato plant in your balcony, you will be able to make 3,000 times 6. So quickly calculate for me 3,000 times 6 and put it on the chat for me. How much is 3,000 times? Yeah. So one tomato plant, which is roughly about 3 months. Yeah, that it will take you 3 months to make the seed of a tomato. From one plant, guys, you can make 18,000 rupees. And you can do this for at least, okay, so you have made, yeah, income from one pot is 18,000. If one pot you can make 18,000, 10 pots, quickly. How much will you make out of 10 pots? One pot is 18,000 rupees. 10 pots would be, yes, 1,80,000 rupees. And you can do this 3 times a year. Yes, 1 lakh plus 1,80,000 rupees. And you can do 3 times you can grow these tomatoes in a year. So 1,80,000 times 3. Yup, there you go. There you go. Now here is what I say is very interesting. Just in your balcony or your terrace, if you have 10 plants of tomatoes, 10 plants only, can you imagine you will make that kind of money? Yeah. So when you make these seeds, how do you store these seeds? I'll give you a small trick. Yeah. You just take the seeds from these tomatoes, you put it into water, leave it for about 24 hours in water, and then all the tomato seeds that float, you must throw away, because those are not good seeds. They are not mature seeds. You throw those away, and then you take a pinch. Then you take all the seeds which are at the bottom of the jug or whatever you took the seeds in. Now, if you take that jug and take all the bottom seeds and wash it, and then dry it in the sun for about 2 days, your seeds are ready. They'll be absolutely beautiful and ready. And how do you store it? Take an airtight container, like just a small plastic container or a metal container, which is airtight. Put the seeds in it. And you know, in your kitchen, they will have something called hing. Hing is LG or it's asafoetida. Yeah. If you ask your cook to give you a little bit of hing, they will give you a small piece of hing. Just put a pinch of hing inside that and put 1 or 2 neem leaves or lemongrass leaves or these lantana leaves. Lantana is a weed that grows all over the place. Yeah. Just put 1 or 2 leaves, dried leaf or fresh leaf, no problem. And then you have become a seed keeper. Just with one variety of tomato, 10 pots, you can be a very, very rich person. And more importantly, what will happen? You will post this on Facebook or your Instagram or the other media you have. Imagine how many likes and how many comments you will get on this. Imagine you're growing in your balcony blue colored tomatoes or pink colored bhindis. You know, you can be rest assured that your friends, they will go gaga over this. Yeah. And that is how you create the market, because then you tell your friend, just wait a little. I'm going to get this seed. And when I get this seed, I will give you this seed for a price. Yeah. So maybe you don't sell it at 6 rupees to start with. Maybe you sell it at 1 rupee to start with. Even then it's a lot of money. Even then it's more than 1 lakh of rupees. Yeah, you'll make. So you say that I will give you this, and from this you can make more seeds. Yeah. So this is how you become famous, you become rich, and most importantly, you will become a seed keeper. And in doing this, you will be preserving biodiversity. You know, you hear about the United Nations Sustainable Developmental Goals, SDGs. Yeah. And you always think, you know, SDGs is something that sounds very big. Only, you know, big nations or big politicians can do this, or big bureaucrats can do this. You know, because there it says, save biodiversity, you know, fight climate change, you know, mechanisms for fighting climate change, preserving biodiversity. But by just growing desi heirloom vegetable seeds, you are contributing to the SDGs of the United Nations. So it's a win-win all around. It's a win-win for everybody. So why shouldn't you do it? So my hope is you are my biggest hope. My hope is that you are my hope, and you will fight and join me to save every one of these vegetables that we have left. We don't have much left. We have got only 1% left. But even that 1%, if we can start to save. So what you do, you start with tomato. Next season, your friends will start doing tomato because they have the seeds, but you change to bhindi. Then next season, you change to a pumpkin. I have got more than, you know, 12, 13 varieties of vegetables with me. Not 12, 13. I've got more than 142. So you can keep making money for 142 years with my seeds. Yeah. So I hope that this has been inspiring you, inspiring enough, it is inspiring enough for you to become a seed keeper. Okay. So I want all of you, you know, to very strongly say to yourself, I will become a seed keeper. I will save these indigenous varieties. In doing, I will have a lot of social posts. People will respond to it. They will comment on it. In doing this, I will make money, and it's going to be a great future for all of us. Okay. So thank you very much. And I hand it back to Paremvir to take this forward. I think I've kept time of 4:45 for you.
My God, I don't believe that it's already 4:45. So this tells us that the subject is so interesting, and at the same time, we have such a wonderful person with us who has got all of us engrossed into this. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, this is just the wonderful beginning. Dr. Prabhakar Rao, we would be having some questions with you. I would request first my co-anchor Kamaljot ma'am to please ask some questions pertaining to, you know, biology and this. She is more technical expert on seeds. Kamal ma'am.
Yes, sir.
Arjun,
Good evening.
yeah.
Good evening, sir.
On to you.
Good evening, Dr. Rao. I don't know. I have the questions which were there in my mind. Paremvir sir, it is already answered. Most of them, it is already answered. Like it was regarding GMOs and using the traditional varieties. So all was being covered by sir. But Dr. Rao, you have mentioned about lantana over there while storing our seeds. So while teaching today itself the conservation of biodiversity to my students, I mentioned there that it is one of the cause of loss of biodiversity. So can we use it as a way for the conservation?
Yeah. I mean, see, basically the desi method of seed preservation, Kamalji, is that certain species like lemongrass, for example, or neem, or even a lantana, for example, the leaves of these trees, if you go and see, they will never be attacked by insects. You go to a neem tree, it will never have an insect eating its leaves. You go to a lemongrass plant, no insect will eat lemongrass. You go to a lantana. Why lantana is an invasive species is because insects don't attack it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Why do they don't attack it? It is because in the leaf, there are certain alkaloids which the insects don't like. So when we put these kind of leaves like lemongrass or neem or lantana, you put it into a container having the seeds, insects won't come because they don't like those, that alkaloids which are there, they don't like it.
They don't
So
like.
if they are there already, they will die. Or if you open it, they won't come inside. So that is why we use it for seed preservation. Uh, why I put lantana there is many people say, oh, I don't know where to get lemongrass leaf, or in my area, neem doesn't grow. Lantana is a
This is
plant
available.
which you go to any part of India, it is
Yes.
there on the roadside. So I
Yes,
say,
sir.
you can't get anything, then put this.
Put
It's not my
lantana.
first choice, but that would,
Okay.
I hope I have answered your question.
Yes, sir. So one thing more that like we are having the organizations like National Seed Corporation, and at the state level also we are having. So the seeds which they are providing, they are also the hybrid seeds, or they are the seeds which are from like native. They are native or the hybrid seeds.
So generally, the organizations like NSC, National Seeds Corporation, they take care of what we call field crops. Like if you want rice seed, or you want wheat seed, or you want, pulses or millets or whatever. So what we call field crops, those are the seeds that National Seeds Corporation generally takes care of those. I am only concentrating on vegetable seeds. Yeah. So
Yeah.
on vegetable seeds, we find that it is completely dominated by the companies. Completely. Today, you cannot go to the company. You cannot go to a shop in Delhi or in Bangalore or in Mumbai. Go to a seed shop and get desi seeds. It's just not available. Everything
No,
is
it's
packed.
not.
It's
It's not.
not. So it's
Like
all
in the
hybrid.
PAU also, we are getting the hybrid varieties only, the
Correct.
seeds which they are supplying.
Correct.
And one more thing, it was mentioned in your CV that you are having the lineage with the scientists like Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, the father of Green Revolution, and Dr. Norman Borlaug. So I would like to know about them also.
So actually, I'm talking about the early 70s. That's when I
Yeah.
was doing my master's. I did my master's from GB Pant University in Pantnagar. And then I did my doctoral studies in University of Agricultural Sciences in Bangalore. I was a plant breeder. And my mentors for my thesis were Dr. M.V. Rao and his mentor, Dr. M.S. Swaminathan, who are, of course, the disciples of Dr. Norman Borlaug. And we sort of brought in the Green Revolution into the country. Because at that time, the government mandated us, saying that we need national food security. Because we did not have enough food and we were going with a begging bowl all over the earth, asking for this food, So we said, no, India should become self-sufficient in food. So that's how the Green Revolution started in India. And it started with the hybrid, seed breeding and, agriculture, and, use of fertilizers and, industrial chemical agriculture. Although I was a part of that revolution, inside me, there was always a voice which was doubting whether 40, 50, 100 years later, we would have problems. So somehow that voice became bigger and bigger. And then I went to the US to do my postdoc, but I just couldn't stand this voice. So I changed my line and I went into architecture. So I studied architecture and I practiced as an architect, specializing in sustainable landscape architecture throughout my professional career. And I had my consultancy based in Dubai, and I used to do projects worldwide, which is how I collected seeds. Now, it's only in 2011 when I came back to India and I found what was happening in India. Again, we were losing vegetable biodiversity, that I went full circle back. But today I am talking about desi seeds. I'm talking about organic farming, natural farming, Vedic agriculture, and not where I started as my education. So it's been a full circle for me, actually.
Means you started from plant breeding and genetics, led to the architect, and now you are again back to your passion.
Yes.
So, sir, like during the green revolution, it is all chemicals, the pesticides and insecticides which are introduced. They are still being used. Like
Yes.
if we are guiding also, they are more effective, comparative, and they are having the more effect as comparison to the organic manures we are using. So how to deal with them? Like अगर मैं अपने घर पे ही, if at my home also I'm growing the vegetables and any species, invasive species is attacking on it. So my family member, they prefer to spray the insecticide rather than like if I guide them also after that also. So what is how we can guide them for this?
So, Kamalji, you see, it's very because I have been a plant breeder and I know how the system works. I can answer this question for you. First of all, nobody has created test conditions for evaluating desi varieties of vegetables. In any university, if you go, all the tests are conducted using urea, DAP, SSP, insecticides, pesticides are sprayed and yield is calculated. Nobody has bred a variety that is desi. Nobody has put an improved variety of desi because everything they do is based, their entire experiment is based on the use of chemicals and pesticides only. This is the first point. So what happens to my desi vegetable when I put urea, DAP and SSP? Okay, first thing that happens is my plant will just become vegetative. It will give lot of leaf, but it will not give any flower or fruit. This is the first thing that happens. Because for my desi vegetables, this chemical is like a poison for it. The moment I put urea, it just becomes vegetative. It will become very bushy. It will have lot of moisture content. It will give lot of leaves, but it stops flowering. This is the first point that happens with my desi beej. So first thing is that you should never put chemical for a desi variety of vegetable to grow, which most people don't know. They will bring a desi seed and they will put urea and then they will say, oh, desi seed doesn't give good yield. Second thing that happens when this plant becomes like a overfed baby, you know, all bushy green, insects will come because it's high moisture content, very succulent leaves. Insects will come and the desi variety cannot compete in yield. So if you have a hybrid variety and you're evaluating a desi variety in a trial plot in the university, desi variety will never succeed because the conditions that the desi variety requires is not given in the university. Whereas if I grew a desi variety and a hybrid variety under desi condition, without chemical, without pesticide, without anything, then my desi variety will do 10 times better than that hybrid. Okay, so this is the first thing nobody realizes. So everybody says, "Arey desi mein there is no yield, you know, utpadan hi nahi hota hai, usko chodo, wo bekar cheez hai." So this is totally wrong. We have shown in our own demos. I work with 22 lakh farmers across the country who practice Vedic agriculture, who go Adharit agriculture. We put Jeevamrit, Gana Jeevamrit, Panchagavya and all that, and we grow and we get as good a yield as hybrid varieties where you spend so much of money on pesticides and chemicals and fertilizers. Without any cost, we are getting very, very good yield and return, plus the food is so healthy. So question to ask is, in increasing the yield and productivity of agriculture, are you producing nutrition or you're producing quantity only? Our desi varieties, when you eat them, they are very pashtik, they are very nutritious. Whereas the hybrid, it is full of toxic chemical residues. How is it going to be nutritious for you? It creates more problems than you started with. So the question is, do you want to give people nutrition, or do you want to give people food? This is the two different things. Yeah. So these are all very, you know, there are scientific ways of answering these questions, which you rightly pointed out. And I thank you for pointing them out, Kamalji.
And sir, on your this website, HariyaaleeSeeds.com, there is the new concept which I have seen, microgreens. So, is there any difference between the nutritional value of microgreens and the varieties which we are producing by the native seeds, desi seeds?
Yes, these microgreen seeds in Hariyalee also are desi seeds only. We do not use any hybrids. We do not use any GMOs. We are using desi seeds only. I wanted this microgreens to come because of the COVID times. You know, it is so easy to grow this microgreens and they are so loaded with antioxidants that improve your immunity.
Yeah,
So
there
I
are
said, let
different
me
varieties.
introduce. Yeah, they're very good. They are having lot of immunity boosters. You know, the lot of these cytokinins and lot of the antioxidants which are there. They are immunity boosters. So I wanted to give something which people can grow in within a week. You can harvest the microgreens and so easy to grow. So I made a little kit with a star, with a mat and the seeds and things like that. So anybody should be able to grow. And during COVID, at least, you know, we can keep our immunity levels high. So that is why I introduced that. But they are also all desi seeds only.
They are the seeds just like the native seeds only.
Yes, like
There is the weight loss and the immunity boosters were there.
yes, that is
Yeah,
correct.
I'm surely going to purchase that. Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. Over to you, Paremvir, sir. Too many questions are arising in mind, but now I got the number of sir, Dr. Rao from Paremvir, sir. So I'm going to put the questions.
So, very nice. I was really enjoying the discussion, and I am sure every participant was also, getting benefited out of the discussion. This only tells us that we need to have one more session with Dr. Prabhakar Rao, and maybe Kamalji, you are the best person to take this forward uh, about the questions that you still have in mind and the questions that the participants also have in mind. I can see it's already 5 o'clock now, and as the moderator of the session, I need to take care of the screen time of the participants as well. And I know Dr. Prabhakar Rao is very busy man. Dr. Prabhakar Rao, though I also have many questions, usually I do all the talking, but this session I was enjoying being a participant. Thanks to Kamalji. Dr. Prabhakar Rao, what is your message to the next generation? Not only the next generation, but what is your message to all of us?
I think my one message is that we must preserve. Whether we must preserve. I mean, preservation is something that is so fundamental, and it can relate to vegetables, it can relate to our culture, heritage, anything. But you know, this thing of where we are forgetting who we are, you know, this we need to really, really focus. And we must always think about this, you know, are we forgetting something? Are we forgetting our vegetables? Are we forgetting our culture, heritage, biodiversity, gene pool, whatever? But it looks like in the greed for making more money or more whatever success in life, we have got into this habit of just forgetting. Yeah. Maybe COVID is a good wake up call for us so that we can remember, you know, what is really more important. So that would be my message.
That's really nice. We cannot conclude this session without giving the participants an opportunity to interact with you. So we will be taking a couple of questions, a couple of responses from the participants as well. I would request Arjun, please check the chat box if we have any specific requests, or if somebody would like to ask any question to Dr. Prabhakar Rao, they can raise hands and Arjun can do the needful.
I can see, sir, one Chetna Jena from Banagri International School is raising hands. I'm going to allow Chetna to unmute. Chetna, do you have a question?
No, sir.
Okay. There is another student, Neeraj Mishra. Neeraj, can you please unmute?
Yeah, hi.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arjun. So I'm a mentor of change. So, yep. Hi, thank you. So thank you, Mr. Prabhakar. It was really very nice session. I attended with my nephew. He's not here. He went for a break. and it was really an insightful knowledge for me and for nephew. Thank you for everything. And my expertise is mostly in the technology domain, mostly in artificial intelligence and everything. And from the last 1 month, I'm exploring agriculture field, and that is why I attended it. So, being it's a limited time, I do have a many more question for you because I'm still exploring it. And so, how can I connect with you after this session, or maybe your peers, or maybe your research team?
On my phone, which is there with Paremvir, Jyoti ma'am also has it. But it's interesting that you say this, because one of the biggest business opportunities that I see, Neeraj, is use of artificial intelligence and blockchain to give traceability for indigenous seed production, desi seed production. See, right now, if one farmer has a seed and he gives it to somebody, there is no business model, because that seed can be multiplied and sold number of times without him getting anything from it. But if we have a system where using AI and blockchain and smart contracts, we can create a system of traceability where with every generation of multiplication, a small royalty, accrues directly into the original progenitor of that particular, that seed keeper would save that particular seed. It would be something like a writer getting a royalty from books even after many reprints are done. I think this would open up a tremendous business opportunity where I think once that happens, indigenous seed production will come to the forefront. Perhaps hybrids and the GMOs would take a backseat.
Yep.
And I think that's where really our grassroots farmers, especially the tribal farmers with whom I work a lot, they would really, come into the center stage and, get, value addition, revenue streams. And I think I've worked out the logic architecture of how this should be. But again, people like you could always collaborate to see how we can actually make this a viable, platform.
Okay, great. So definitely I'll connect with you after this session. Thank you so much for your time.
So thank you so much. I feel so happy that Neeraj, you have joined, and probably there may be other mentors of change also from Atal Innovation Mission in the participants. Please feel free to get in touch with us for any support required. Arjun, you can share my mobile number with Neeraj in the chat box.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So we will be happy to coordinate and support you with the contact details of Dr. Prabhakar Rao. If there are no more questions, Dr. Prabhakar Rao, I need to ask you one very simple question. Everybody has a purpose in life. Okay. For some, it's money. For somebody, it's family. For someone, it's country. And for someone, it can be even a tiger also. Before you, we actually met one very young banker, Anurag Sharma. He happens to be my batchmate. He was a very successful banker. And he, after certain years in corporate world, decided to venture into wildlife conservation and all. So my question to you is, you are such a talented person, and you are such a successful person as well. Why or what made you take such a hardship of collecting seeds, traveling to the remotest places? And most of the people probably do not even understand the magnitude of the service that you are doing to the mankind. Okay, because it's not just seeds. If I can put it correctly, and if I can see it correctly, if the kind of vegetation that this earth has goes a dramatic change, the kind of environment we will have on this planet will also go a drastic change. So it is going to impact each and everything. That is why it is said, don't play with the God. Don't try to, genetically modify human beings or genetically modify animals. And even I remember when I was a kid, and this whole BT seeds or BT cotton seeds, this issue was going on, I think I was in 6th or 7th standard, I used to hear that there was such an uproar. Farmers even committed suicide because they procured these seeds and they did not blossom and nothing came out of them. And I can share my own experiences. Tomorrow we have a Tinkerfest challenge, grow your own food. We already had a day 1 and now we are going to have day 2 tomorrow. And we have purposely asked students to come up with a challenge wherein they have to grow their own veggies. Okay. This was just to make them aware of that the food that comes to their table, they can pay for it. Probably they have money for it, but it's not so easily coming to their table. A lot of things are going in the background, and tomorrow a day can come wherein you may have enough money, but you cannot pay and buy the veggies or food grains. Probably the next war will be on water and food itself. So I want to ask you, what is that trigger point that is making you to work so hard, so silently, and still motivated, on this noble mission?
Really, I can't put a pin on it, but I can tell you one thing, and I think the youngsters should know it. Always listen to your heart. Yeah, always listen. There's always something inside you which is telling you what you should do in life. Yeah, most of the time we don't listen because of social pressures. Yeah, because pressures from parents or pressures from the society or something, or society tells you that you must be this. So you become conditioned by that. But inside, the universe is always telling you what have you come onto this planet for? Yeah, why are you here? That answer is there inside you, but we never listen to it. Yeah. So, but when you start to listen to it, then there is no effort from your side because universe works for you. So like you say, I go to remote parts of India and even remote parts outside. But for me, it is not any effort because the universe just makes it happen. Yeah, I used to be the personal designer for His Highness the Aga Khan, and his projects were in very remote parts of the world. So he used to, fly me to those places in comfort, and I used to collect the seeds. So the universe will come to you to help you to achieve what you are supposed to achieve in life. Yeah, or what you are supposed to do in life. So always I will tell youngsters, always trust that little voice inside which tells you, that that is why you are here on this planet. And when you listen to that and you align yourself with that purpose, then life is not a struggle. There is no struggle in my life because the universe is working for me. I don't know whether that answers your question.
Absolutely. And when this kind of statement, comes from, a person like you, definitely it's like a noble message for everybody that listen to your heart. Everybody of us have come to earth for a purpose, and that purpose your heart keeps on telling you that you are actually for this. Okay, success is just a byproduct. If you pursue what your heart desires, it's no more a work. It is, you will enjoy it every moment of it, and definitely you will succeed in it. So, Dr. Prabhakar Rao, I am forced to stop here myself. I'm sure we will definitely once again have a second session with you. We are just waiting for the schools to open up because there are a lot of internet connectivity issues as well that hinders in the participation of the students and the participants at large. So thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much. We salute your noble efforts. We salute your service to the mankind, and we simply wish that the God should give you more resources and strength to achieve your noble objectives at a larger scale.
Thank you
so
very much,
for
Parmeen.
being
Thank
here.
you, Kamalji. Thank you so much.
I will
Thank
be
you.
in touch with you. Kamal ma'am will be in touch with you. And we will also get in touch with Neeraj and get him connected with you. Atal Innovation Mission actually aspires to take such wonderful initiatives at a larger scale, and we are doing our bit in it. Thank you, everybody, all participants, for being here. And we would be sharing the video recording of this session on the YouTube and the Facebook channels of our ATL Labs. Thank you so much, everyone. Please let us know your feedback. We have shared the feedback form in the chat box. Thank you. Thank you, everyone.